Live in the present. You see, in the moment. If you're not living in the present, then you're missing it. You're not going to live a good life. You know, I've known people who have dreamt of the future, and they were visionaries. They had a lot of potential in them, because that's where it gets a little bit foggy, is first of all in the balance and the counterbalance of it, but then also in the practical nature of it. I've known people who were optimists and they were visionaries, and they had a lot of potential in them to do great things. But as they were living in the future, they weren't painting out dreams that they were walking out. What they were doing is they were just dreaming. If you're thinking of amazing things that you know you're capable of, but you're thinking about them and talking about them and not moving your feet at all on them, then it's just a dream. As good as that is, it's just a dream. But you see, I've known of other people who are visionaries, and they dream of good things. They dream of good things, and they go after it and they accomplish it. So is living in the future in that way wrong? Not at all. It's a great part of life. The counterbalance to that is if you have a pessimistic, abused lack of identity, then the unknowns of the future are sometimes paralyzing. You're fragmented and paralyzed, waking up every day thinking of or expecting self-sabotage, failure, sickness, just in every regard. You're anticipating and expecting the worst in life. You can even see this on the other end of dwelling in the past. The same abused person. Some people, when they can't let go of a grief after having a time to heal and process it, well, decades later, they wake up and go to sleep still identifying and thinking on that abuse, that grief. On the other end, you have let's say it's a middle-aged man who was a football star in high school, and he's living in the past. He rejoices and identifies with his 17-year-old self, and that's not healthy either. That's no way to live. So the only way to do this well is to bring these things into present day reality. And what that means is in the past, you've got to, if it's a trauma or a harm, then you've got to, as much as possible, if there's any way to, learn from it, but otherwise heal from it and put that behind you. Say, that's not who I am. And find healing for that. But if it's something good, then make some sort of memorial out of it that you can just occasionally bring into your world and rejoice in it, and not live there, but look back and say, man, that was a good time in my life. Thank you, God, for that. But really, it's just almost like a picture to look back at and appreciate. Like me looking back at a wedding day photo or something. I look at that and I rejoice over it. But my God, I'm not living there. I've been married for 12 years now. I love my wife today. Not on our wedding day as much. And so all to say, make it more of a memorial stone, so to speak, as opposed to living there. It's almost like being in, let's say, in relationship with my family. If I have a day booked to just be with my family, my wife and my son, what if I am spending the whole day inside of my mind just reminiscing about the good and the bad that we've shared together? Is it wrong to reminisce? No, it's not at all. But I haven't fostered communication. I haven't grown any depth of relationship. I haven't learned anything new about my son, what he's currently experiencing today, or my wife. I haven't fostered a connection with them. I haven't loved on them. There's been no exchange. At the very least, just to say, I could have shared those memories with them and remembered together and brought a bond through that. Okay, on the other end, what if I'm dreaming of the future with my family? I spend the whole day in my head just dreaming about the good or the bad, but dreaming, oh man, when my son's 16, what car am I going to get him? I can see his intellectual gift working as he creates his own business. I can see his working with his hands. I can see my wife, what our next vacation's going to be. I can see in our next house, we're going to have this. We're going to have that built-in bookcase that I build. Just dreaming. But again, I've still not had any connection, exchange. I still haven't had any depth or growth in my relationship with either one of them. And that's a loss. That's a loss. But if I bring that into the present and in the moment, and I share those dreams with them, then we can collaborate. We can creatively cut things that aren't as good out and bring the perfect thing for us instead of what I think is best for us. You see, we can create and collaborate and work together and bond in the dreaming of the future and even refine our plans in doing so. You see, in anything, with relationships, with business, with whatever, we need to be looking into the future and forecasting. That is clear. We need to be doing that. That's part of building a hope that is the anchor for our soul. That's part of fleshing out the details of what needs to be researched, what needs to be in place, the benchmarks that need to be hit as we progress towards it. But then also looking back and rejoicing over the wins that we've had. Rejoicing over it. It is the anchor of our soul. But all to say, if we're not bringing the past and the future into the moment, into the present, then we're going to be missing so much. That's not how we were made to live. Not living in the future without any present day reality, and not living in the past without any present day value either. We are to be using these as things to learn from, look back to, and draw from, and then we are to be using the future for how we are forecasting the blueprint and dreaming while we are bringing it into the future and building those benchmarks and marching it out and pivoting as we go so that we are making it the best that it can be. But we're not supposed to live there in a dream state. No. And you see, why do people at the turn of a new year, why do they make, let's say, 30 New Year's resolutions or 10 New Year's resolutions, and then at the end of the year they failed or abandoned the majority of them, and for the majority of people, very early on in the year? Why is that the case? Usually it's because they dreamt. They saw 12 months from now, I'd love to have this, I'd love to be doing that, I'd love to weigh this. Whatever it is, they have that picture that they want, but they didn't bring it back to today and say, how do I get there today? What do I do today to get there? That's why we fail. Our focus gets lost, our determination gets lost. We end up waiting until it becomes unlikely that we'll ever get there from 2 months out, But all to say, it's because that dream stayed so far in the future that it remained a dream instead of a vision for the future. Don't let that be you. Live in the present, in the moment, and bring the past and the future appropriately to today to empower you to walk it out. Bless you, church. Talk to you later.